Are smartphones replacing cameras for everyday use? This is a question that's been on my mind. And with the latest release of the iPhone 16 Pro that was announced this week, it got me asking whether or not I even need a daily, everyday camera like my X-T5. Well, sort of. I'm wondering if you might be asking the same questions. Obviously, if you're a professional photographer, it's really not an option. But I'm thinking more of like a photo enthusiast or an amateur photographer or somebody who just wants to document their family and friends and vacations. Is the iPhone getting so good that it is replacing the need for an everyday camera? If the whole point is to take good photos versus the entire experience of photography, which is the gear, the lenses, the camera bag, the accessories, the whole immersive experience of getting all of that together and going out and shooting for a day. That's what's got my attention right now, is the improvements that they announced this week on the iPhone 16 Pro got me really wondering, especially with camera capture button that's going to be out, and the 48 megapixel sensor that you can use for macro photography. It got me really wondering, do I need a X-T5 or any everyday camera for shooting the type of photography that I enjoy doing? I'm thinking about this because some of the photos and videos I've taken with the iPhone 13 Pro, I think look really good. I took a trip to Florida last year and I only took my iPhone with me. I got some really nice photos of the beach and the water and the sunsets, and I was quite happy with them. I mean, I'm sure they would have come out better had I had my camera with me, but for where I was and for what I wanted to do, the iPhone was like the perfect companion. Now the air conditioning's coming on. Just trying to record a video. Let's see, where was I? So I'm wondering, with the iPhone 16 Pro, I mean, is the photography even going to be better? When I watched the whole Apple event this week, they said the entire thing was filmed on an iPhone Pro 16. And it looked amazing. And I thought, wow, this is like a professional job done with an iPhone. And I'm wondering, okay, I've got all this equipment that I've bought over the years. I've got these lenses, I've got the camera, I have all of this stuff. And I thought, do I really need it? I'm recording this video right now on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's just sitting right here on my coffee table. So anyway, this might just be a thought exercise, but I wasn't planning on upgrading my iPhone until at least February of next year, 2025, because my current plan that I'm on, and there's lots of reasons, but yeah, there's not really it would be more expensive right now to upgrade my phone, and I don't want to. So I bought the 13 Pro about a year and a half ago, and I waited until the 14 Pro was out, and when they were discounting the 13 Pros, I picked up a 1 terabyte 13 Pro for, I think it was about $799, which was a great price for the phone, and I have really enjoyed that phone. It's been a great phone. While the AI features that Apple's going to be rolling out over the next year sound amazing, none of the AI features are going to be available when the phone is released on September 20th. It'll probably start rolling out about a month later, so you'll have to wait for that to happen as well. So the only reason to upgrade the phone right now would be, maybe a little better battery life, and definitely from the 13 to the 16 Pro, there's going to be a lot of camera improvements, including the camera control button, which would be the one thing that I would be really interested in, because it's a bit awkward ergonomic-wise to take photos, right? So there's going to be a button here on the 16 Pro, and you'll be able to press it. You'll be able to have some kind of haptic touch feedback that you'll get. You can slide your finger across it to move the exposure. Based on what I saw on the demo, this button will have a lot of functionality for controlling your camera, which is something that I would really like. That would help me use the phone more. I think this would be a really nice feature to have for the camera. Given all of that, I don't think it's worth for me upgrading my iPhone right at the moment, but it's definitely something that I would be considering. I'm just wondering if anybody else feels the same way, that the advancements on the phone for photography and videography, while they have been incremental in benefits and features, they're getting to the point where, since you have this with you already, you pretty much just have a camera with you at all times. Do you really need the other cameras? So I took some photos outside with my iPhone and with the X-T5 with the 80mm macro lens on there, just so that I could take a look at them and see. And I'll put some up on the screen so that you can see what they look like. My conclusion is that if you want a clinical, like crime scene photos, if that's what you're into, then the iPhone works great for that. I mean, it is sharp and crisp. It just looks surreal at times. It's almost as if it's generated by software. And the X-T5 with the 80mm macro, those just looked more like photographs to me. So I don't think this is at a point where it's going to replace my camera, but I think for a lot of people, it may already be at that point. So I wonder what it would be like just to have a phone for photography. And it's got me thinking about the pros and the cons, right? The biggest con with the phone is ergonomics, I think, for me. You know, you don't have any lens selection without having to start adding a case and the little extra lenses you buy and all of that. But just out of the box, you know, it's limited there. The aperture's fixed. And again, it has that clinical look to it. The biggest plus is the connectivity. You can take a photo on here. It gets uploaded right to the cloud. You can share it easily. Try doing that with your X-T5 or for basically any camera that you've got now. The steps to do something like that are a lot more complex. This is super, super easy to take photos, share videos, way easier. You take a video with your camera, by the time you get it off of there, or even on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, the same thing. I got to plug this into a computer, I got to pull those files off, and then I've got to share them from my computer. It's a lot more steps involved. I guess I'm in the camp of the hobbyist, quasi-amateur photographer, and it's just worth it for me to take my camera out still. But I'm just wondering, is it worth it for some of you? Are you thinking that maybe with the benefits coming in the iPhone 16 Pro, that maybe you don't need a camera anymore? Maybe this is all you're going to need. Maybe I'm missing something. This is a great backup camera to have with me. It's not going to replace my existing camera. But what are your thoughts? Would you give up your camera and just have your phone? Would that be something that you consider doing? And if so, say why, and if not, go ahead and share that too. I'd really like to hear what your reasons are. If you're a pro photographer or doing photography for money, well, you're never going to just use your phone. Although, as I said earlier, that entire Apple event was filmed on an iPhone Pro 16, and that says an awful lot about how far it's come. Consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. Where are you going? Want to stay up here? No? All right. Good boy, Henry, good boy.